This is the plaintiff, Dalton Lyell. She says she and the plaintiff worked together, and she moved into her two-bedroom house, and the rent was $450 a month. One day, the defendant asked her to prepay a month's rent because she was broke, so she gave her $450 in advance. Turns out, the defendant didn't pay her share of the rent for a few months. Now the woman won't give her back the $450 she paid her in advance, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Amanda Alpizar. She says she told the plaintiff she wasn't going to renew her lease, but then changed her mind and decided to stay. The plaintiff told her she was going to move out anyway and demanded her rent back. This wasn't their deal, and she had no idea the plaintiff was going to leave early and move out. Since the plaintiff was the one who changed their agreement, she feels she doesn't owe her anything and thinks the judge will agree. She's accused of rubbing a roommate the wrong way.
All parties, please use your ratings.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff and the defendant worked together, ended up living together, but it didn't work out. The plaintiff says the defendant stiffed her. The defendant says the plaintiff bailed early, so go pound sand. It's the case of rubbing a roommate the wrong way.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Dalton Lyell, you are suing Amanda Alpizar for $450 in rent that you had prepaid, and you didn't end up staying. Tell me what happened.
So I met Amanda at work. I was in a situation where I needed somewhere to live. She said, you can move in with me if you pay me $450 every month. So I moved in November 24th, I think it was, gave her the $450 the next day, I think. And after that, probably 2 weeks later, she was fired from our job.
Why was she fired?
She was late a lot and absent a lot.
Okay.
So she didn't have a job for the whole time after that I lived there. She did.
And where is there? Is it a house? Is it an apartment? What is it?
An apartment.
Okay. How many bedrooms?
So, 2.
Okay.
2 bedrooms,
and it was just
2
the two of you living there?
And we both have a child.
Okay, so the children were also living there.
Mm-hmm.
How old is your child?
He is 5. He just
And
turned
how
5.
old is your child?
She's 3.
Okay, so go ahead. Did they get along? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
So every month, rent was due on the 24th. She would ask me around like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that, if I could pay her rent early.
So were you paying in advance every month?
Mm-hmm.
So you paid in advance in December. You paid in advance in January.
Correct.
And then what day did you pay February 24th through March 24th?
I paid it,
Early February?
yes, it was like the 4th.
Is that accurate?
5th.
What,
That is.
early February?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then what happens towards the end of February? Or middle of February, I
She
should
told
say.
me 2 days later, after I gave her rent almost 3 weeks early, she tells me 2 days later, well, I'm moving out. And I said, okay, well, instead of having to prorate the money that you owe me, because I paid February 24th through March 24th, the lease was up March 5th. I said, instead of trying to prorate that, I'll just leave February 24th. You can give me the whole $450 back. And
March 5th was when the lease was up. So you just said, look, I'll just leave the 24th and give me back the whole month rent. And
Right.
She
said, as soon as I start working,
I'll pay you back.
I'll pay you back.
okay, then
basically.
what happens?
So then I wasn't really there a lot. I was staying with my boyfriend a lot, and I would come there, get clothes. We wouldn't speak. It was just awkward. Her boyfriend and her boyfriend's son were always there. I'm in nursing school, so I just needed quiet, and that's not really her fault. It's my personal preference. I need to study in quiet. So I wasn't there a lot. It was just really awkward. We didn't speak. And then it was February 21st, I believe. I get this text late at night. When are you leaving? What day? What time? I need to know exactly when. Leave my keys on my table in my house. I'm like, well, it's mine until March 24th, technically, so.
Right.
But I told you I'd be out by February 24th. I had finals all that week, so I said, I'll be out by February 24th. And she just kept on and then said, I'm going to pack your things for you.
May I see those texts?
Sure.
Let me get your version of that. What happened?
So pretty much everything she said is correct, other than the fact that she left out that she agreed that she would stay until March the 5th.
Well, but let's hold on. Okay, the first thing that happens is you tell her I'm not renewing my lease.
At that point, I thought I was moving to Gainesville with my boyfriend.
Okay, but had you not been paying rent?
I had not, no.
How many months had you not paid rent?
3 months.
Okay, so is it, I don't want to renew my lease, or they're not going to renew my lease?
I have a good standing relationship with my property manager. I rented from them prior to the apartment I'm currently living in. With the lease I still have, I'm still there. So
you had decided that you were going to leave, and you tell her that, and then she tells you, okay, so just give me back that rent I prepaid.
So at that point in time, we were on good terms. We were speaking. So she came home from school that day. I remember it perfectly. I was standing on the stairs. She was in the dining room. I said, okay, well, since the lease is up on the 5th of March and you've already paid, for February to March 24th, we'll just prorate it. We'll divide $450 by 30 days, and that'll be $280. That's what I'll give you. She agreed to it.
And then what happened?
And then, I guess a day or two later is what I have here over text, her saying that instead of her staying until the 5th, she found a new place to live, and she'll be out by the 24th of February. That way I can just give her the full $450 back. And I told her that I didn't have it to give back to her, that I had already paid 2 bills with it, and that I just didn't have it.
Did you ever say to her, okay, I'll give you the money? Because you thought you could, or?
I just didn't want to deal with her anymore.
So you said what?
So I said, okay, whenever I get a job, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, and then what went wrong?
So is it a good idea for 2 people who work together to actually end up becoming roommates?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
I think you'd see too much of each other.
It's just so familiarity breeds contempt.
That's right.
Gotcha. What do you say?
Yeah, it crosses the line, personal and professional, so you're around them all the time.
What's the danger in it? What's the danger?
I think if you spend too much time with a person, then you could know their pros and cons, and it just is not.
So don't get to know anybody because people are basically suck.
Exactly.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Instead of her leaving the keys, the house key and the mailbox key on my dining room table, like I asked her to and like she said that she would.
Because by that point you had told her I'm staying.
Correct.
Right.
She left with the keys. I texted her about 15 minutes after she moved out. I said, why didn't you leave the keys on the table like I asked you to? She said that she'd be returning them to the property manager the next day. I said, why would you do that? I gave them to you. They're my keys. Come to find out, I had a conversation with the property manager, and she went in there and told him a bunch of lies.
Like what?
He wasn't there when she showed up to drop the keys off. His exact words were, I don't find it to be important to repeat what I was told that she said, but pretty much she was trying to get me to kick you and Adeline out of your house.
Okay, so you know it wasn't positive.
Correct.
Okay. Did you go trash her to the property manager?
I went there, I returned the keys. I said, just so you know, I've been giving her money every month and she hasn't been paying rent
Right,
with it.
so how is that, if that's what she did, because that is true. She's been paying rent for 3 months and you haven't. You've been using the rent she's paying you. Meanwhile, you put her in a position where she's not able to continue living there even though she's prepaid the rent. She's got to find a new place to live because you haven't been paying rent, so they're probably not going to renew your, because that could be the property manager, but he's not the owner. So, the owner is not going to say, yeah, let's give her a new lease when she owes us 3 months' rent. That's not going to happen. So, those things are on you. You tell her by text, I'm pretty positive A, that's him?
No, I call my
child?
daughter A for short.
Okay, A and I are moving to Gainesville, so I don't think I'm going to re-sign the lease. She said, so the money I gave you was for February 24th through March 24th, but we won't be there till then, so we'll have to figure something out about that. Yes, we will, you answer. I'm just going to move before the 24th of this month, so you can give me the full $450 back. To which you say, listen, I've paid 2 bills with the money you gave me. Listen, I paid 2 bills with the money you gave me. Okay, you're supposed to pay rent with it. So I'm not able to pull it out of my behind. I will get it to you as soon as I have it. Thank you for understanding that I have bills to pay and I haven't even started working yet. To which she replies, I understand that you have bills and no job, but I also have to take care of my bills too. To which you respond, I do not know what you're expecting me to say. I don't want this to get nasty, but like I said, I can't just pull it out of my behind. Okay, let's talk about when things get nasty. When are you planning to move out? You answer before the 24th. Your answer is duh, you got a day in mind? Her answer is I live there till the 24th, so I don't have to give you an answer. Legally, she's completely correct. And don't tell me what to do. To which you respond, are you ready? Do you remember this text?
I do.
Oh, it's awesome. Listen, the B word, ... Listen, B word. It just loses everything when you say B word. You live here until I say you live here. There's no other way. I can't read that nicely, so I'm only going to read it in the way you intended it. I can very easily change the locks. No, you can't. It's actually a crime for you to do that. And have you asked for your blank, 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 blank. So don't make it that way before I decide that's the only way. And then a series of little A-OKs. These are my keys. So if by telling you to leave them in my house on my table means you interpret that by me telling you what to do, then you're just dumb. Get the out. Fabulous. You kiss your child with this mouth. I don't know what, she answers, I don't know why you're trying to make this nasty. I live there, I pay rent there, I will have my things out by the 24th. She's right. You really can't be insisting on a prior date. I'll have your, to which you respond on the 21st of February, I'll have your things packed by tonight. You don't have a right to touch her stuff. Who do you think you are?
That it wasn't right of me. I will acknowledge that.
Okay.
But
So now February 24th, when do you plan on starting to give me the 450 back? When do you plan on starting to give me the 450 back? February 27th, March 12th. When do you plan on starting to give me just copy paste, no contact, lawsuit? Have I got it? Yeah. Okay. I have a couple things to say to you young ladies. One, pick up the phone. This is no way to communicate. It got out of hand because of the intonation each of you were reading into each other's texts. And it didn't need to get out of hand. You were clearly in the wrong. You owe her the $450, and that's my ruling, okay? You're in the wrong legally, you're in the wrong morally, you're in the wrong every which way possible, and you owe her the $450, and I'm ruling in your favor. But take this as a learning experience about what happens when there's no communication between people. If you and I talk to each other, and I talk to you and say, I don't know what you're mad at, you take a step back. That's what happens, because that's called empathy. And what is being lost with your generation is the empathy. And you don't know that until you know it. I hope you think about that the next time you're text fighting with anybody, and then you notice the difference when you speak one-on-one, how much better you feel, how much better you make the other person feel, and how much better the other person feels. Good luck to both of you.
So I know in certain terms the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit. Ms. Alpizar, you just got quite a lecture from the judge. I'm just wondering, what are you thinking right now?
She was right. I was morally wrong. I was upset at the fact that she tried to get me and my daughter kicked out of our house. She agreed to me giving her back $280 and decided to move out early. So.
Well, as the judge put it, you were wrong in every way possible in this situation. I was wondering about the lecture she gave you about texting and why sometimes it can be read wrong by the other person. Do you understand that? Did you get it?
I do.
All right. Thank you very much. You do have to pay. Miss Lyle?
Yeah.
So how you doing?
I'm okay.
You all right?
Yes.
I was worried a little bit about you. And you know, all this is going on and you're in finals.
Yes.
How did that happen? How'd you do on your final exam?
I passed them.
You did?
I have 5 months left.
Okay, well, congratulations. I'm sorry you went through this, you know.
Thank
The
you.
judge said you're totally in the right, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope you're in a happy place now.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Harvey?
Hey, Doug, when you text and you're in the middle of a dispute, you got to realize that could end up biting you in the butt.